The small alien spacecraft glided silently through the violet sky of Viridia, the research planet known for its floating crystal cities and sprawling lavender forests. Its sleek silver body reflected the twin suns above, and inside, the crew of alien scientists buzzed with anticipation. Among them was Lyra, a young alien girl with bright turquoise eyes and delicate, glowing tendrils that moved when she was nervous. This was her first mission to Earth, a planet her people had only studied from afar. She had read countless reports, seen countless images, but nothing could have prepared her for what she was about to witness. "Steady, Lyra," whispered Ven, the senior scientist and captain of the mission. "Remember, observation first. No interaction until we understand the species." Lyra nodded, though her tendrils twitched with excitement. She had always dreamed of visiting Earth, the planet where humans lived, a species small in size but rumored to possess extraordinary creativity and resilience. As the ship approached the blue and green sphere, she felt her excitement swell. This was the moment she had been waiting for. The ship descended into a valley filled with enormous metal structures, towering higher than the clouds. Bridges stretched across rivers, enormous machines roared in the distance, and cities sparkled with lights that seemed to dance even in daylight. Humans moved along streets and platforms, seemingly busy, yet coordinated in a way that suggested intelligence and instinct combined. Lyra's jaw dropped. "Captain, She couldn't find the words. "You what, Lyra?" Ven asked, peering over her shoulder at the scene below. I didn't expect them to be this big," she stammered. Ven frowned. "Big?" Lyra blinked, then waved at the immense factories, the skyscrapers, the machines moving mountains of stone, and the huge ships docked along sparkling waters. "Yes. They're creations. They're machines. They're everything. Human, you have it so big. I can't handle it." Her voice had an edge of awe and disbelief. Ven blinked, then let out a soft chuckle. Lyra felt a little embarrassed but couldn't look away. She had imagined humans as fragile beings, small and vulnerable. But they were astonishing. They had constructed things that dwarfed Viridia's own structures. They had built machines that moved enormous weights with ease. And the humans themselves seemed unstoppable. "Prepare the observation modules," Ven ordered, trying to hide his amusement. "Let's get a closer look." The ship hovered just above a massive construction site. Humans operated colossal cranes, guiding massive blocks into place. They communicated with gestures, shouts, and small devices, working together in perfect coordination. Lyra was fascinated. She leaned closer to the viewport, her tendrils brushing against the glass. How can they do all this?" she whispered to herself. "They are remarkable," Ven replied. "But remember, we are here to observe, not interfere." Lyra nodded, though she felt an irresistible urge to step out and explore. Humans moved with a strange mix of precision and improvisation. Some lifted enormous objects manually, while others used machines that seemed impossibly advanced for their world. And yet, they smiled, joked, and encouraged one another, showing joy in their work. It was an astonishing blend of strength, intelligence, and spirit. Suddenly, a loud rumble shook the ground beneath them. Lyra gasped and clutched the viewport. Below, a human team had activated a massive machine, a crane-like vehicle that lifted entire sections of a building at once. The machine towered higher than any structure on Viridia, moving with mechanical grace. Oh, my stars," Lyra whispered. It's enormous." Ven glanced at her with raised tentacles. "Lyra, contain your excitement. Remember, we are here to study, not to gawk." Lyra tried, but her amazement was overwhelming. She had read about human machines, seen diagrams and videos, but nothing compared to seeing it in person. The scale, the coordination, the ingenuity, it was beyond comprehension. She scribbled notes frantically in her observation module, trying to capture every detail. As the humans continued their work, one of them activated a device that sent a massive wave of light and energy into the sky. Lyra's eyes widened. The light illuminated the valley, reflecting off the metallic structures and giving the whole scene a magical glow. The humans cheered, patting each other on the back, proud of their achievement. Lyra could hardly breathe. "Captain, it's too much. I can't handle how big they are. How capable." Ven's eyes softened. "You are witnessing something extraordinary, Lyra. Humans may seem small, but their spirit, their ingenuity, it makes them colossal in ways no measurement can capture." Lyra nodded, trying to calm herself. She watched a human child running across a platform, laughing as they maneuvered a small robotic vehicle with skill. The child's laughter was infectious, and even in her astonishment, Lyra smiled. Humans were not only big in what they could create, they were big in their hearts, their courage, and their creativity. Hours passed as the alien crew observed. Humans lifted massive objects, coordinated entire construction sites, and solved complex problems with simple tools or brilliant machines. Each action seemed to challenge the aliens' understanding of possibility. Lyra's notebook was filled with sketches, measurements, and notes. But even that felt insufficient. As night fell on Earth, the city lights shimmered like a galaxy of stars. The humans celebrated another day's achievements with music, food, and laughter. Lyra felt a strange warmth in her chest. These creatures, so different from her own kind, were magnificent. Small in size, yes, but immense in spirit. "Lyra," Ven said softly, "do you see now why your initial reaction was accurate?" Lyra nodded slowly. "Yes, but I didn't expect it to feel like this. I thought big meant, well, physical size. But humans, they are big in every way that matters." Ven smiled, touching her shoulder gently. "Exactly. And this is just the beginning. There is so much more to learn. Their inventions, their culture, their resilience. It is unlike anything we have seen." Suddenly, a loud clanging sound came from the ground below. One of the human machines had malfunctioned. Alarms blared, and humans rushed to fix it. Lyra leaned forward, fascinated, as humans worked together seamlessly to solve the problem. Within minutes, the machine was operational again, and the humans cheered. "They never give up," Lyra whispered, almost to herself. They just keep going, no matter what. They are unstoppable." Ven nodded. "That is why humans are remarkable. They are not the largest creatures in the universe. They are not the most advanced by alien standards. But their courage, their creativity, and their ability to overcome any challenge, that is something even the greatest species envy." Lyra watched the humans a little longer, then finally turned to her instruments. She began taking careful measurements of the massive buildings, the machines, and the humans themselves. Every detail was a revelation. Every act of ingenuity left her more amazed. As she wrote, she thought of how she would report back to her people. How could she explain the scale of human brilliance? How could she convey the feeling of awe she experienced? She realized that words might fail. Perhaps only seeing them firsthand could ever capture it. Then, as the alien ship prepared to lift off, Lyra caught sight of a human lifting a massive beam, using both hands, and setting it perfectly into place. She blinked and whispered, almost in disbelief, "Human, you truly have it so big. I can't handle it." "Oh," Ven chuckled quietly behind her. "And that, Lyra, is why humans are humanity. They are bigger than you think, in every way that matters." The alien ship ascended, leaving the valley behind. Lyra looked out at the horizon, the lights of human cities twinkling like stars. She felt a mixture of joy, astonishment, and excitement. This was only the first day, and already, Earth had left an impression she would never forget. As the ship moved toward orbit, Lyra made a quiet promise to herself. She would learn everything she could about humans. She would witness their achievements, study their inventions, and perhaps, just perhaps, understand the true scale of what it meant to be human. For now, she allowed herself one last glance at the planet below. Her tendrils shimmered softly with excitement. She whispered, more to herself than anyone else, "I can't wait to see what comes next. Because I still can't handle how big humans are." And with that, the alien ship disappeared into the night sky, leaving Earth shining below, a small planet with creatures capable of truly immense things. The next morning, Lyra awoke before the sun fully rose over the sprawling city below. She pressed her face to the ship's viewing glass, her tendrils wriggling with excitement. Today, they would descend closer to Earth than ever before. The alien crew had planned a cautious approach, just enough to observe human activity without being noticed, but Lyra's curiosity was impossible to contain. Ven, noticing her eagerness, floated beside her. "Remember, Lyra. Observation only. Do not interfere. Humans can be unpredictable." Lyra nodded, though she could hardly keep her eyes from sparkling. I want to see everything. I want to understand how they are so big." Ven smiled. "Their bigness isn't just size, Lyra. You will see today what I mean." The ship descended to a bustling port city near the coast. Massive ships larger than anything on Viridia floated in the water, their decks crawling with humans moving in perfect synchronization. Lyra's eyes widened. Each ship seemed like a floating fortress, yet the humans treated them with ease. They guided enormous containers, maneuvered gigantic cranes, and even directed swarms of small robotic helpers with ease. Lyra's tendrils trembled. They manage all of that without chaos?" Ven chuckled. "It seems effortless, doesn't it? But it is the result of coordination, intelligence, and determination. That is humanity's strength." From above, Lyra watched a human named Joran, a tall man with strong arms and a bright smile, direct the placement of a massive cargo container. He climbed atop the crane, signaling to others with precise gestures. Every movement was calculated, yet fluid, as if he were dancing with the machine. "I can't believe it," Lyra whispered. "He is lifting something bigger than my entire lab." Ven nodded. "It's not his strength alone. It's their clever use of tools, teamwork, and problem-solving. Humans make things bigger by thinking bigger." Lyra leaned closer to the viewport, captivated. She noticed a small child nearby, no more than 10, controlling a miniature robot with expert hands. The robot raced across the deck, lifting supplies, and the child guided it with skill and patience. Lyra's eyes softened. Even the small humans, they are incredible. The day grew brighter, and humans continued their work with astonishing efficiency. Lyra observed engineers constructing a bridge that stretched across a wide river. The bridge segments were enormous, heavier than anything she had seen lifted on Viridia. Yet humans moved them with precision. Cranes, levers, and pulleys worked together with human ingenuity, creating a system that seemed impossible but functioned perfectly. Lyra's notes filled quickly. "Human tools are designed to multiply their abilities," she scribbled. "They turn small effort into immense results. Ingenious." At one point, a sudden problem arose. A support cable snapped, sending a segment swinging dangerously. Humans shouted instructions, rushing to stabilize the structure. Joran climbed with agility, adjusting the machinery mid-swing. With teamwork and quick thinking, they secured the bridge. Lyra's tendrils quivered. They never panic," she whispered. "They act. They solve. They succeed." Ven glanced at her. "Exactly. Observe how they handle risk. Many species would freeze or fail. Humans adapt, improvise, and overcome. That is the essence of their bigness." Lyra watched humans continue to build, lift, and coordinate. She noticed their tools were not just strong. They were clever. Levers, pulleys, hydraulic systems, and even small flying drones helped them accomplish feats she had never imagined possible. Each human acted as part of a team, their actions synchronized like a well-practiced orchestra. "Captain," Lyra said, almost breathless. "I understand now. Their size doesn't matter. Their mind, their spirit, their cooperation. It is what makes them immense." Ven smiled. "And that is only part of it. Wait until you see them in full action when creativity meets necessity. Then you will understand entirely." As if on cue, a loud alarm echoed from the port. A massive container had slipped from its position, threatening to fall into the water. Humans rushed to the scene, moving faster than Lyra could follow. They formed teams, communicated clearly, and worked without hesitation. Lyra's eyes widened. They are solving it together, faster than any machine could. Joran directed the operation, climbing onto the precarious container and guiding others with calm authority. Tiny drones flew around, carrying tools and stabilizing ropes. The humans used a combination of technology, strength, and clever problem-solving. Within minutes, the container was secured, and the humans cheered. Lyra clapped her hands in delight. I can't handle it. They are so capable." Ven laughed softly. "You are beginning to see what I meant. Humans are not just big, they are bold, clever, and unyielding. That is why we study them." Lyra followed the humans as they returned to their tasks. She noticed small details. The way they encouraged one another. The subtle gestures of support. The smiles that communicated more than words. Even in moments of challenge, they remained positive and focused. "This is more than construction," Lyra murmured. "It is an expression of who they are. Every act, every machine, it shows their heart." By midday, the crew moved to observe a nearby research facility. Humans were testing a new energy generator, an enormous structure designed to harness solar energy and convert it into usable power. Lyra marveled at the scale and precision of the machinery. One human scientist, a woman named Mira, adjusted massive panels with delicate precision. She used robotic arms, sensors, and calculations to guide the process. Yet her hands worked with such fluidity that it seemed natural. Lyra gasped. They combine brains and hands perfectly," she exclaimed. "Yes," Ven said. "Humans are unique. They think, adapt, and act in ways that few species can. And they do it with creativity and joy. Observe." Suddenly, the energy generator activated. A brilliant beam of light shot into the sky, illuminating the city below. The humans cheered, clapping, and laughing. Lyra felt a thrill in her chest. Humans did not just build, they celebrated. And in celebration, they grew even bigger in spirit. They find joy in their achievements," Lyra whispered. "That is astonishing." Ven floated closer. "Humans are resilient. They face danger, solve problems, and still find wonder. That is why they are extraordinary." As the day progressed, Lyra observed humans in countless scenarios. Children played inventive games, using natural elements to create fun contraptions. Adults solved complex engineering problems with ingenuity. Teams of humans moved massive objects with teamwork that seemed effortless. Everywhere Lyra looked, humans exceeded expectations. At one point, a small boy raced a robotic vehicle across a courtyard, maneuvering through obstacles. Lyra laughed softly. Even the smallest humans, they are amazing. Their minds, they are so big. One. Ven watched her reaction with a gentle smile. "Lyra, that is the essence of HFY, humanity, F. Yeah, humans are small, but their spirit, their creativity, and their courage make them giants among species." Lyra scribbled furiously in her notebook. I think I understand now. I used to measure size in mass, in height. But humans, their size is measured in ideas, courage, and willpower. That is real bigness." As the sun set, the humans gathered together to celebrate the day's achievements. Fires burned, music played, and laughter echoed through the city. Lyra observed quietly, her tendrils shimmering softly with wonder. "They are immense," she whispered. "Not because of what they are, but because of what they do, and how they do it." Ven placed a tentacle gently on her shoulder. "And tomorrow, Lyra, you will see even more. They will surprise you further. Their creativity, daring, and ability to work together, it is limitless. By the time this mission ends, you will truly understand how humans have it so big." Lyra smiled, feeling a mix of excitement and awe. She watched the humans dance around fires, sharing stories, and laughing. Their joy, ingenuity, and sheer capability left her speechless. As the alien ship lifted into the night sky, Lyra whispered, almost to herself, "I can't wait to see what they do next. Because every time I think I understand, they show me something bigger. So big, I can hardly handle it." The city below twinkled with life, machines, and laughter. Humans had shown their capacity to build, solve, and create, leaving Lyra completely amazed. For her, Earth was no longer just a planet, it was a demonstration of what small creatures could accomplish when they dared to think big, act boldly, and never give up. And with that thought, Lyra knew this mission would be unlike any other. Humans were more than just interesting. They were colossal in spirit, innovation, and determination. She had only just begun to witness their greatness, and she could already feel that the best was yet to come. The next morning on Earth, Lyra awoke with a mixture of excitement and curiosity. Today was different. The alien sensors had detected a cosmic anomaly, a massive asteroid moving toward Earth, faster than any natural orbit should allow. Its path threatened major cities and ports. The alien crew gathered in the observation room, buzzing with concern. Ven floated calmly, although his eyes reflected seriousness. "This is why we observe, Lyra. Humanity will soon face a challenge unlike any other. It is their response that we study, not just what they create, but how they act when threatened." Lyra's tendrils twitched with excitement and anxiety. "Captain, can they handle it?" "It's enormous." Ven nodded. "We will see." The alien ship descended closer to Earth, allowing them to monitor human preparations. Already, humans were reacting. Scientists, engineers, and government leaders convened emergency meetings. Massive communication networks spread warnings to all affected areas. Citizens were evacuated safely, while others prepared machinery and energy generators for emergency use. Lyra's eyes widened. Humans were small, fragile creatures compared to cosmic forces. Yet their coordination, intelligence, and sheer determination were astonishing. They don't panic," Lyra whispered. "They act, immediately." Ven nodded. "Observe carefully. Humans are at their greatest when the odds are against them." From the observation deck, Lyra saw the scale of the preparations. Enormous machines, cranes, and satellites were mobilized. Engineers calculated the asteroid's trajectory with incredible precision. Humans tested energy beams, gravity manipulation devices, and even experimental propulsion systems to divert the threat. It was a spectacle of ingenuity, creativity, and courage. Lyra gasped. "Captain, they are building something so big to stop an asteroid. How? How can they do all this?" "How?" Ven smiled gently. "They do not rely solely on strength, Lyra. They rely on teamwork, intelligence, and determination. Humans have a way of making the impossible possible." On the ground, Joran, Mira, and teams of engineers coordinated massive operations. Drones carried vital equipment, while humans manually adjusted enormous levers and pulleys. Some lifted gigantic segments of machinery into place, demonstrating precision and strength combined. Children and teenagers, trained in emergency programs, assisted with smaller tasks, proving that every human could contribute. Lyra scribbled furiously in her observation notebook. Their coordination, It is flawless. Even under pressure, they do not falter. Ven floated beside her. Notice how they encourage each other. Praise, laughter, and support are part of their strength. They grow bigger when they uplift one another. Suddenly, a human technician made a critical calculation error. The asteroid's projected path was slightly off, threatening a nearby city. Chaos could have ensued, but the humans adapted instantly. A new plan was drafted within minutes. Machines were redirected, energy beams repositioned, and safety protocols adjusted. Lyra's tentacles quivered with awe. Even mistakes. They handle perfectly. They are unstoppable. As the asteroid drew closer, humans initiated the final phase of their plan. Massive energy beams from ground-based generators and orbital platforms converged toward the asteroid. Lyra watched in amazement as Joran climbed atop one of the enormous machines to manually guide the energy alignment. Every movement was precise, every decision critical. They are controlling something larger than themselves, Lyra whispered. Yes, Ven replied. They take risks. Yes, but calculated risks. And they trust each other completely. That trust, that makes them powerful beyond measure. The asteroid's approach caused visible tremors on Earth. Massive waves lapped against coastal cities. Yet humans remained calm, working with astonishing focus. Mira coordinated engineers on the ground while communicating with orbital platforms. She adjusted power levels, synchronized beams, and corrected trajectories with astonishing speed. Lyra could hardly contain her excitement. It's incredible. They are turning disaster into triumph. Even when minor malfunctions occurred, mechanical arms freezing, drones colliding, humans adapted. Backup systems activated automatically, and small teams jumped into action to repair and guide the equipment. The aliens watched silently, unable to hide their admiration. Hours passed, and the asteroid loomed ever closer. The final energy beams fired, converging in a brilliant spectacle that lit the sky with dazzling light. Humans shouted instructions, coordinated manually and digitally, their voices and gestures blending perfectly with the hum of machinery. Lyra's notebook overflowed with sketches and observations. She whispered repeatedly, I still can't handle it. How big they are. Their courage, their intelligence, their teamwork. It's beyond anything I imagined. Ven observed quietly. Lyra, notice how they inspire one another. Even when fatigue sets in, when machines fail or calculations shift, they keep going. That is human greatness. Finally, with one coordinated surge, the asteroid's path altered just enough. It passed Earth at a safe distance, glowing brilliantly as it continued through space. Humans cheered, hugging, laughing, and celebrating their success. Machines powered down, drones returned to their stations, and children clapped in delight. Lyra's tendrils shimmered with awe. They did it. They really did it. They stopped something enormous. Bigger than anything. Bigger than any alien could imagine. Ven smiled softly. Yes, Lyra. And they did it with their minds, their courage, and their hearts. That is why humans are so remarkable. Not because of size, but because of what they can achieve together. Lyra floated closer to the viewport, watching the humans celebrate. She noticed small acts of kindness amid the triumph. Engineers helping a tired worker down from a crane. Children sharing food with volunteers. And Mira laughing as she high-fived her team. Every act reflected resilience, cooperation, and spirit. They grow bigger when they work together, Lyra whispered. Every time they face danger, every time they create, they become immense. Ven placed a gentle touch on her shoulder. And tomorrow, Lyra, you will see another side. Humans are not only problem solvers, they are creators, dreamers, and inventors. Today they proved their courage. Tomorrow, you will witness their imagination. Lyra nodded, still overwhelmed by the events of the day. She thought of how she would report this to her people. How could she convey the enormity of human spirit, creativity, and courage? Words might never capture it. Perhaps only by witnessing humanity firsthand could anyone truly understand. As night fell, humans gathered around fires, celebrating and sharing stories. Lyra observed quietly, amazed at how even small beings could achieve something so enormous. They laughed, danced, and spoke of plans for the future. Every smile, every gesture reflected not weakness, but incredible strength. Lyra whispered softly, almost to herself. Even when they face the impossible, they rise. Even when the challenge is enormous, they overcome. I can't handle how big humans are. Ven nodded. That is why we study them, Lyra. They are proof that small creatures can have monumental impact. They are the living embodiment of HFY, humanity. Yeah. Humans are proof that courage, creativity, and teamwork are more important than size. Lyra floated above the city, watching humans continue their celebrations. She thought of Joran climbing cranes, Mira guiding energy beams, children directing robots, and citizens helping one another. Every act was evidence that humans were more than just survivors. They were pioneers, creators, and giants in spirit. They are bigger than anything I imagined, Lyra whispered, smiling. Not physically, but in every way that matters. Their hearts, their minds, their courage. It is so big, I can hardly handle it. Ven smiled, placing a hand on her shoulder. And tomorrow, Lyra, you will see them in ways that will astonish you even more. They will continue to amaze you, because humans do not know limits. They are boundless, even when faced with the universe itself. Lyra gazed at the glowing city below, her eyes shimmering with wonder. She realized that Earth was no longer just a planet to study. It was a demonstration of what small beings could accomplish when they dared to think big, act boldly, and work together. And as the alien ship hovered above, Lyra whispered one last time, her voice filled with excitement and admiration. I can't wait to see what they do next, because every time I think I understand, they show me something bigger. So big, I can hardly handle it. The lights of the city twinkled like stars in the night, a testament to human ingenuity, courage, and teamwork. Humans had faced a cosmic threat, solved it with brilliance, and celebrated with joy. They were small in size, yes, but enormous in spirit, innovation, and heart. Lyra knew that this was only the beginning of her journey. Tomorrow, humans would reveal another side of their greatness, and she would be ready, eager to witness it all. The morning sun cast golden light across the sprawling city below. Lyra pressed her face to the alien ship's viewport, her tendrils quivering with excitement. Today, the humans were preparing for something even bigger, a project that could change their planet's future forever. Ven floated beside her. Today, Lyra, you will see why humans are extraordinary. Not because of strength, not because of machines, but because of their imagination, courage, and spirit. Are you ready? Lyra nodded, unable to speak. I think so, but I can't wait to see what they do next. I feel so small. You will see how small they are, in size, does not limit their greatness, Ven said gently. The alien ship descended near a massive construction site on the outskirts of the city. Humans were already hard at work, coordinating an enormous structure that stretched toward the clouds, a tower designed to harness solar energy in ways the aliens had never seen. The structure was enormous, even by Viridian standards, and humans moved with a mix of precision, coordination, and daring that left Lyra awestruck. They are building so big, Lyra whispered, even bigger than the machines yesterday. How do they do this? Ven smiled. Watch carefully, Lyra. Observe the teamwork, the innovation, and the courage. This is human ingenuity at its peak. Lyra watched as engineers lifted enormous metal beams with cranes and robotic arms. Teenagers and children assisted with smaller machines, proving that every human could contribute. Scientists directed energy beams and guided drones with perfect synchronization. It was a display of coordination, intelligence, and sheer daring that left the aliens speechless. They don't just build. They create, Lyra whispered. Every action. It is so precise. So alive. From her vantage point, Lyra noticed Joran leading a team to attach a massive solar panel at the very top of the tower. The height was dizzying, yet Joran and his team moved with remarkable skill and confidence. A single mistake could have been disastrous, but their planning and coordination ensured every step was perfect. They trust each other completely, Lyra murmured. That is why they can do this. They are fearless together. Ven nodded. Humans have a way of growing bigger when they work as one. Each person is important, and every contribution strengthens the whole. That is their power. Lyra's eyes followed Mira as she adjusted the alignment of enormous energy collectors. Her hands moved with fluid precision, guiding massive machinery while calculating energy output in real time. She communicated with other teams via handheld devices and gestures. Even the tiniest adjustments were critical, yet she did it effortlessly. They combine brains, hands, and courage all at once, Lyra whispered. It's beyond what any other species could do. As the tower neared completion, a sudden challenge arose. A strong windstorm swept through the area, threatening to destabilize the structure. Humans paused only for a moment, then sprang into action. Drones adjusted positions, cranes compensated for the gusts, and teams of engineers worked in perfect coordination to secure every segment. Lyra's tendrils quivered with awe. Even nature, even danger, they handle perfectly. They never give up, Ven smiled. This is humanity, Lyra. They face challenges with creativity, courage, and collaboration. That is why they are so remarkable. The storm intensified, yet humans continued their work. Children guided smaller drones to reinforce sections. Teenagers climbed machines to stabilize panels, and scientists recalculated energy projections in real time. Every human knew their role and executed it flawlessly. They turned danger into triumph, Lyra whispered. They are unstoppable. Hours passed, and the storm gradually subsided. The tower, enormous and gleaming, stood tall against the sky. It collected energy from sunlight in a way no alien technology had ever attempted. Lyra could hardly believe her eyes. Humans had built something enormous, resilient, and functional, all through ingenuity, courage, and teamwork. They did it, Lyra exclaimed. They turned impossible into possible. Ven nodded. And they did it together, Lyra. That is the essence of human greatness. Lyra watched as humans celebrated, clapping, laughing, and helping one another down from the tower. The children cheered, scientists hugged their teams, and Joran and Mira exchanged smiles of pride and accomplishment. Every gesture reflected the human spirit, resilient, clever, and full of heart. They are bigger than anything I imagined, Lyra whispered. Not because of size, but because of courage, intelligence, and spirit. I can't handle how big they are. Ven placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. That is why we study them, Lyra. Humans are proof that size does not determine greatness. Their creativity, teamwork, and determination make them giants in every way that matters. Lyra scribbled furiously in her notebook, trying to capture the moment, but words seemed insufficient. Humans were not just building machines or solving problems, they were living examples of how small beings could achieve monumental feats. As the sun set, humans gathered around the completed tower, lighting it with celebratory lights. Music played, laughter filled the air, and fireworks illuminated the sky. Lyra observed quietly, amazed at how a species so small in size could accomplish something so enormous. They grow bigger with every challenge, Lyra whispered softly. Every time they face danger, every time they create, they become immense. Ven smiled. And that, Lyra, is why humans are celebrated across the galaxy. Their spirit is their strength. Their courage is their power. Their imagination is their limit. And even that is boundless. Lyra floated above the city, watching humans continue their celebrations. She noticed small acts of kindness among the triumph. Engineers helping volunteers carry supplies, children sharing treats, and Mira laughing as she guided her team. Every act reflected cooperation, resilience, and heart. They are bigger than I could ever imagine, Lyra whispered. Not physically, but in every way that matters. Their hearts, their minds, their courage. It is so big, I can hardly handle it. Ven placed a tentacle on her shoulder. And now, Lyra, you understand why your first words were accurate. Humans, they truly have it so big. Not just machines, not just inventions. Their spirit, their creativity, their courage. It is monumental. I'm selling maybe in dollars of this shin. I'm selling the sum or the radio. Lyra smiled, feeling a mix of joy, wonder, and admiration. She realized that Earth was no longer just a planet to study. It was a living testament to what small beings could achieve when they dared to think big, act boldly, and work together. As the alien ship hovered above, Lyra whispered one last time, her voice filled with excitement and respect. I can't wait to report this, because every time I think I understand humans, they show me something bigger. So big, I can hardly handle it. The city below glowed with lights, music, and laughter. Humans had proven their ingenuity, courage, and resilience. They had faced enormous challenges, solved them with brilliance, and celebrated with heart. They were small in size, yes, but colossal in spirit, innovation, and determination. Ven watched Lyra, smiling. Remember this, Lyra. Humans are not just another species. They are proof that even small beings can achieve greatness beyond imagination. They are boundless. Lyra nodded, her eyes shimmering. I understand now. Completely. Humans, they are giants. In every way that matters, they are giants. And as the alien ship slowly ascended, leaving the glowing city behind, Lyra knew one thing for certain. Humanity was unlike any species in the galaxy. Small, yes, but with hearts, minds, and courage so enormous, they could face any challenge, overcome any obstacle, and build a future larger than anyone could imagine. For Lyra, this mission had changed everything. She had witnessed human ingenuity, bravery, and spirit firsthand. She had seen them rise against cosmic threats, build impossible structures, and inspire one another to greatness. Humanity was more than remarkable, it was legendary. And in that moment, Lyra whispered one final thought, full of awe and pride. Human, you truly have it so big. And it is amazing.